Good morning, you guys.
Good morning.
Hi, Katrina and the
Morning.
waves. Hi, Tony and the waves. Tony, I haven't seen you in so long. Where have you been?
No, I miss you so much.
I know.
How was Texas?
It's great.
Great.
Great. My husband actually, we were in the car driving from the airport, and he's driving along, and he goes, "Wow, I really love Texas." I thought I was going to really have to sell him on the idea. Yeah, no, he's sold.
That's awesome. Hi, Nicole. Good morning. There you are.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
So yeah, Texas is quite the place, and it's less expensive. That's all I'm saying. Hi, Archer. No. We're not playing now. We are not playing now. Go.
I had to fight to get to the airport though, because the GPS took me a different way, and all of a sudden I'm seeing all these signs to DFW, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I put the wrong thing in the GPS. Then it's telling me to go to Waco, and I'm freaking out because I'm late and there's traffic, and I'm like, I'm on my phone I'm like, Love Field. Yes, and I'm thinking maybe Love Field is a different name for a baseball field or something, I'm going somewhere. Then finally I saw it, but it took me a whole back way. Like, it's like a really roundabout freeway way. So that freaked me out a little because I was coming out of your country club, Craig.
Right.
It stopped
We're just allowing you to look.
Oh, very good. Ghost computer. Okay.
That's quite. It gets confusing. Texas roads.
Yeah.
Absolutely does.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. We have 3 minutes left, and our group likes to get here at 11 o'clock. Except for you guys. And Bo is here, I think. Hi, Bo. I'm gonna unmute you. Or I muted you. You might have to unmute yourself if you're there. I see Team EASON. So you could be there. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Roger.
Hey, Craig.
Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Oh, here they come. Here they all come.
I've been here. I just have 2 showings of my house today, so I'm puttering in the background and listening on.
And why are you selling your house? Where are you going?
Still local, but I need a bigger place.
Oh, got it. Okay. No, that's not going to happen, dogs. Hey, Tosh. You're going to have to put my dogs away. They're barking at each other. Ba-da, ba-da-da-da. So, anyone want to just ask me anything while we're just waiting for 11 o'clock, like in the next 30 seconds? Okay, great. That's awesome. It's kind of put you on the spot. Hopefully you guys have some questions for Bo, because this is mostly going to be like something different. This will be just like Q&A stuff. So ask a question. And if you can't think of a question, I have 4,000 questions. That would be good. Right, Bo EASON?
Craig, what's up, man? We miss you here in California.
I know. We miss you guys too. However, I'm just saying, saving a bunch of money, and I'm kind of liking Texas.
Yeah. Is there anything open in your neighborhood?
Everything. There's a house 2 doors away. Come on over.
Okay, good. I think Axl will look good in purple.
Yes,
right?
As a horned frog, and we need a quarterback.
Okay, there you go.
So need a quarterback. I'm on the TCU recruiting committee, by the way.
Okay, there you go. Okay, good.
So Chris Harrison, your buddy Chris, very good.
Yeah.
Gary Patterson, the coach, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and Gary Patterson went to UC Davis. He's the coach there.
Oh my
right after I
gosh.
left. Yeah.
Oh, so you guys are so going to TCU.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We beat Texas yesterday, or Saturday. UT again for the 7th of the last 9 games. We've beaten UT, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
Small little school like TCU beating them. Big gorilla.
You move and let me situate where I want to.
Yeah, put you where you want to. I'll mute them. So welcome, Mr. EASON, and it is good to see your face. I miss you guys, and I do miss California, but like I said, kind of like it here, you know?
Yeah.
I like it. But so thank you once again for coming on today. I know you have a mastermind yourself in about an hour, so we're going to spend 45 minutes. Maybe if you would like to just like start us out with just something that maybe you're doing now that you were doing differently because of COVID, and then we can do the rest of it of Q&A would be awesome.
Okay, great. Yeah. The first thing that we did was, and I've been telling a lot of people this, ever since COVID broke out, is like, look, what us human beings are the best in the world at, and not only the best in the world at, but we're the best in the history of the world at, is adaptation. So, there's a reason dinosaurs aren't here. There's a reason like saber-toothed tigers are not on this planet. It's because they can't adapt like we can. They don't adapt as fast as we do. And that's the one thing that us human beings, we are the best at. So, when COVID broke out, a lot of people, just didn't want to adapt. They didn't want to change, right? They wanted to keep it how it used to be and pretend that the world was going to go back to something in a week or 2 weeks or whatever. And the one thing that I learned in professional athletics is the teams that make the changes the quickest and that adapt to the demanding situation, those are the ones who win all the time, right? Same is true for us. Same is true. I know it's comfortable to try to go back to how your business used to run, but it's not going back. That stuff will resurface, that old stuff will resurface. But we moved on really quickly. We just, look, I'm used to being on stage. I like being on stage. I like being belly to belly, a lot like a lot of you. It's where I'm trained the most. It's where we've, built our business the most. But we said, hey, if that's not a possibility, if you can be the best on stage, then why can't you be the best not on stage? So virtually, right? You can. It's basically the same mechanics. So that's the first thing I would start with is let's open our mind to that adaptation and be out in front of this wave instead of behind it. And then, the camera, right? Like I used to have all kinds of issues with the camera, and I'm sure a lot of you have too, where, it's a piece of machinery. So it's hard. It's difficult to connect to. So you have to use your imagination because apparently this camera is not going away, right? We're going to be using this thing for a while.
Hold on, I'm going to mute somebody.
Okay.
I got to find the person that needs to be muted. There.
Okay.
Go ahead. Guys, mute your things until you have a question, please.
Yeah. So you better start to get intimate with this piece of machinery. And that's all, imagination. That's all creativity. And I'll just give you like one tip just to start off with is the camera, lucky for you, lucky for me, the moving camera, which is what we're in front of today, the moving camera is only interested in one thing in a human being, and that is your imperfections. Isn't that good news, right? Yeah. So a still camera, think about this, you guys, a still camera. So if we're taking a photograph, the still camera is interested in your perfections, which is why you see models on the cover of magazines, because they're perfect, right? So that's what the still camera is only interested in, perfections. Well, good news for us is the moving camera is only interested in imperfections, which is why models never translate to movie stars.
Yeah.
Isn't this great news for us?
Yeah.
Right? Well, like we were born at the right time, at the perfect time in the history of the world. So now we gotta find some relief in that this thing's interested in our humanity, not necessarily our good looks. It's mostly our imperfections, which is what your audience connects to, right? So that's the great news. And I'll give you one more quick tip about the camera. This is what I learned many years ago when Dawn and I took this camera class in Hollywood. And we took it for like a year and a half. And it was really great because this is the same people who train Brad Pitt, you know, and big movie stars like that, Sharon Stone, Michelle Pfeiffer. The one thing that they were taught, which made them movie stars, and the one thing that I'll tell you guys about today is a lot of times movie stars are acting not with another actor, but with a camera, right? So they have to be able to invent who they're actually talking to, and they have to use their imagination. And so that's what Brad Pitt is really good at. If it's funny to think about it like that, but he's very good at creating the specifics of who exactly he is speaking to, because that's why he gets paid $20 million a picture, because he's good at that. Now, you and me got to take a lesson from that, because look, it's hard to connect to a piece of machinery. So you've got to make that lens, or more accurately, beyond the lens. So behind the lens, you have to put somebody there, one person, a person there, and you have to speak to them and them only. And that gives you the specifics of what your audience desires, which your audience is only desiring that you speak to them individually. Well, that's how it occurs to your audience if you're specific on who you speak to. So right now, if I'm speaking to a group, like I'm going, hey group, let's do this and it's too general. And you as an audience will pick up on that subconsciously, and you'll start to wane, you'll start to leave, you'll start to dismiss me, the speaker in this case, right? So you all have to be very specific on who that is you're speaking to. Quick tip. And this isn't all encompassing, but it's a great tip. This is how I was taught. For guys, for you guys, boys, men, your father, whether he is living or not, is always the number one choice. It might not be for all of you. Even if that relationship is unresolved, you guys, it's a great person to put on the other side of that lens, because it makes you emotional to start with, and it's a weighted conversation, which is what the user, the end user, the audience in this case, is interested in. That they stay focused. If you're focused on somebody specific, they think you're only speaking to them. So for guys, it's father. For ladies, typically a child. Really loaded conversations with one of your children, or if you don't have children, what if you did? What would be that conversation that you would have with that child, right? So those are called substitutes. So you substitute those in on the other side of the lens, and it just begins you to settle down. Your emotions are right there. And then you can specifically talk to that person instead of the group, which is impossible to do. If you speak to the group, you speak to no one. If you speak specifically to a person, you speak to everyone. Okay? So we'll start there, Craig, and then I'll throw it back to you.
That's awesome. And Glenn Morshower is a friend of all of ours. He's an actor from the show 24, played Aaron Pierce for years. Character actor, about 150 films. He talks about that too. And he's doing Zoom acting classes right now and teaching people. It's really interesting, because when you have live acting classes, now Bo's been on Broadway with his one-man show, so he knows about stage and being bigger than life on stage. You got to be bigger than life. But on a camera, you got to be small, but you still got to be emotional. So Glenn is doing acting classes now. He's doing his acting classes now on Zoom, but he's teaching them to do exactly what Bo just said. Talk to one person, talk through the camera. You have to make believe that the person is in the other room that you're doing the scene with. But one girl was from Australia the other day and one was from New York. But it looked like they were talking to each other because the way he sets up the eye stuff on Zoom. So great points on what we need to do with the camera. So I have a question before I open it up to the group. We have a lot of speakers here, and I know I've been to a few of your events, and no one's doing events right now, and I don't think you are too. But you are hands-on on your events. You get with the people. You have them on stage. You're touching shoulders. You're doing this stuff. How are you finding doing that on Zoom? How are you recreating as best you can on Zoom to do that?
Well, you know what's funny about it, Craig? It seems impossible, right? Like when we first started to make the change over to Zoom, we felt like, oh gosh, we're just not going to be as effective. We're not going to be as good. And we've had people who have come to the live event where we are belly to belly, and I do have my hands on them, and Jean-Louis has his hands on them. And then those very same people took our event, which is virtual now for the moment, and they liked it better virtually.
You know what? My people said the same exact thing. And I was so nervous to do my first one because I'm a stage person too. And they said the same thing. I think people are comfortable, you know, in their own house too. And they get to, you know, be in their own zone or whatever that is. So you felt the same thing, huh? We
did. And what we found out was, I found out when I was coaching people individually, like say they'd be doing their talk, their story, I would coach them, but I could see them so much better than normally because the camera picks up on everything on that close-up. So it was really easy to coach, and it was easier to have that intimacy. And I also heard this, like one of my kids was watching what I do on stage, you know, on camera at home, right? And they said, it was weird, Dad, because I felt like I knew you better on camera. I could see you better. I could, you know, it revealed more about you and what you were actually teaching on camera. So there is that magic of, you know, what that camera picks up. You know, it's like this magical instrument, and it finds that. That's why you see a lot of great actors, a lot of great performers aren't classically handsome or beautiful. They're kind of odd looking, right? If you saw, but the camera loves that. And that's what us human beings, that's what we're attracted to too, is people who are like us.
You know, it's interesting. My wife is a model agent, talent modeling agent, and the girls, her audience, her models are like 18 to 25, and they walk in to the office for the interview and they look okay, not stunning, just, you know, like a normal everyday person. And you look at their portfolio and you're like, that is not even the same person. But there are some people that are just photogenic, you know, and they just have the features that a camera picks up on. So that's quite interesting, actually. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to open it up to you guys. Joe DeChara had a question last night. So I think, Joe, are you here, Joe? I think I saw you. You had a question about how do you get, well, I'll let you just ask it. So introduce yourself to Mr. EASON here.
Hello, Mr. EASON. I'm a big fan. I don't remember what the question was. My first question was, how many questions do I get?
Right. And then I said 1.2. So his first question was, I said you get 1.2 questions. So his first question was, how do you currently get people to come to events? And the second question was, how do? Because 1.2, he was very funny. So anyway, so Bo, his question was, how are you guys, what is your best way that you get people to come to events? That's the big question, right? How do you get people to show up? How do you get people to sign up for your stuff and your events? So we have a lot of people that put on events. So that's a good place to start.
The first thing we do is go out to our list, right? So, and then and encourage them to come. I'll make them an offer. Also, I go on other people's stages, in this case, virtual stages. Like I just did JJ Virgin's event last week.
Oh, good.
It's called Mindshare, and I speak there. So I'm able to, build my audience with her audience. And the setup that we had, the deal that we had was I could make an offer. So then those people now will come. And then also we've gone to, we have paid advertising on Facebook. And I also have a Facebook Live that we do once a week. And when Corona was hot and heavy back in March, April, May, we did it twice a week. And we're just giving away content, just training them for free,
Yep.
And then eventually make them an offer, right? And that's how we've filled our events virtually, and it's worked out really well. So paid advertising, free content, like training people on live, Facebook Live, going out to our list, and then being on other people's stages and gathering some of their audience.
And that's what Bo has done on my stage. He speaks on my stage, and a lot of people from our group have been to his events. And that's what we share all the time. This is why you put on events. It's great to stage swap, get on other people's stages. All right, so I'm going to open it up. Does anyone have any questions at all?
I do.
I have a question.
Hi, Bo. Good morning.
Hello.
I have seen you on stage so many times, and you're very physical. You're all over the place. How are you doing that in this small little box? How are you presenting? Because that's one of the things that is so amazing about when you speak is the physicality.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So when you go, like when you watch National Geographic and you watch a lion, run down or a pride of lionesses run down a zebra, and they take the zebra down and then they, feed the pride. Do you know how you can't take your eyes off of that? No matter if you don't really want to see the zebra die, there's something about the nobility and something about how majestic the movement of those wild animals are. You just can't look away from those lions or those lionesses. And then you go to the zoo, right? And then you see the sign for the lion exhibit, and your heart starts to pound a little bit because you're going to be in the presence of a predator that is unapologetic, right? That is majestic, that is noble, that you cannot look away from. And then typically when you get to the lion who's in a cage, right? So I always equate this to human beings in a cubicle, right? So when you put a human being in a cubicle, I wouldn't expect much production out of them, right? Right?
Yeah.
But if you put them in a space where they can, let this predator instinct out, you're going to get a productive human being. So when you get to that lion exhibit and they're behind bars, what are they typically doing? They're still a lion, right? They still have this, they're still the king of the jungle. They have this huge heart and unapologetic nature about them, but they're behind bars. So typically they pace, right? And they pace and they just can't wait for a moment until those bars fall down, right? Because as soon as those bars fall down, now it's lunchtime, right? For the little kids throwing peanuts at them, saying, "You're the king of the jungle. Look at you. You're nothing," right? So I would equate that same thing to being a physical guy like me. And all of you are physical. All of us are predators, right? So we're just like that lion or lioness. So when you put me in a box this big, right? I'm going to use that box. I'm going to use that cage. I'm going to fill that cage up with my predatory instincts, which are always on fire. But, you got to get warmed up. You got to get, like before we started this live, And before I ever go on camera, I get myself activated and warmed up so that my body is informed with what my body actually is, which is what? It's an animal. And it's a dangerous animal. All of us are the most dangerous animals. Us human beings are the most dangerous animals on the planet, right? We're more dangerous than a great white shark or a falcon or a lion or a cougar. That's who we are, right? So we can't apologize for that, but we got to use it in the box that they give us, just like the lion uses those bars until those bars aren't there. So, right?
Yeah.
So when you watch a lion pace back and forth, all you're doing is, as a human being, you're watching it going, this is what I'm secretly fantasizing about. Oh shit, I hope those bars fall down right now, because I want to see this thing come alive. And if you can do that in front of a camera, guess what happens? People can't look away from you.
Mm-hmm.
They're just waiting for that. They're waiting for, hey, when are we going live and when are we going in person again? Because I want to feel the danger. And you, as a human, you got to make them feel that danger on camera and give yourself permission to actually go there. Here's the easy part. You don't have to learn this. You have to relearn this. This is how you are. All you ladies right now, think of one of your children in the middle of the road and a bulldozer coming at that child. You tell me what you would do. So, ladies, this is like easy money for you, right? You got to stop apologizing for that predatory nature that you have. Guys, you have it too, but we mostly get it in really elite athletic, like fights or boxing or football, or elite military. Like that's where we get our sense of ourselves, like rescuing and saving and charging a beachhead or scoring a touchdown. That's where our expression comes. Though, if you notice those occupations, those people, they don't apologize for their physicality ever, and they're on TV, right? They don't apologize for it. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. You can just tell, guys. So the energy that Bo has in this little box that we're talking is very infectious, and you just want to watch it. And I'm afraid if there's a cage. Are you in a cage right now? Just don't cage you up. Come on.
They've got me in a plexiglass box.
Yeah, everything's plexiglass, right? All right. Anyone else question? I'm going to look in the chat in the interim.
Yeah, Craig.
Roger.
Hey, Bo.
Hey, Roger.
Michelle saw you at a speaking event on Craig's stage and went crazy, texting me from the event, telling me all about it afterwards. I heard Bo for 2 days. She had never seen anybody take over a stage like you had because of that predatory nature. And she and I both were wondering, I understand that you were in pro sports. You just talked about that athleticism, but did you have to learn that predator on stage mode, or did it come to you naturally?
I did. So when I wrote this one-man show, and I rehearsed with a great acting coach named Larry Moss, who ended up directing the play. Well, after about a year of rehearsing, maybe 6 months of rehearsing our butts off on this play, Larry comes to me and he goes, Bo, I'm going to bring in my secret weapon. And he's a movement coach named Jean-Louis Rodrigue. I go, what, Larry? I don't need a movement coach. I'm an elite athlete. I don't need that. And he goes, yes, you do. Because being on a football field is much different than the communication on stage and your physical body on stage. And we need to have this predatory nature up and running. And this guy that I'm going to bring in, Jean-Louis Rodrigue, is his whole study, his whole thesis, his whole theory on the movement of performers and how he teaches is based on the movement of predator cats. So imagine that. Imagine that. So what he brought Jean-Louis in, and I'm telling you, it put the play on the map, because people like you, like what your wife was talking about, is that they can't look away because no one would ever look away from a predator. that's in front of them. No one would ever do it. If I put a lion right in front of you, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to move. You're not going to go to the bathroom. You're not going to text. You're just going to breathe with the lion and hope it doesn't eat you. Well, that's the same sense that he gives the performer on stage, which that's why at all my events, I have him come and train them to do that. And he does it virtually too. So he trains Margot Robbie, the gal who won the Academy Award for I, Tonya, beautiful gal. And he trains Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire. And he teaches them just what I'm talking about today is this, you have to turn in to the predator that you already are. You just forgot, or you are ashamed of being a predator because the news told you that predators are bad. Right? And then they assigned this great moniker called predator, which human beings are. They assigned that to the worst of our society, didn't they? Like the Harvey Weinsteins of the world. They give him a great moniker like this word predator, which is what you and me actually are, which is regal and noble and powerful beyond measure, which makes us stand out from everybody else. If we have the permission to do this on stage and on camera, people are not going to look away from you. So yes, I had to learn it, but it's better said that I had to relearn this predatory nature that all of us have. And I got it from Jean-Louis Rodrigue. And that's the reason that people, love the stage work. And then now we're taking that to the camera work.
That's
Thank
great.
you. Awesome.
Hey, Bo, I have a question. So your setup that you have right now, a lot of us are talking about our setups in our office. Where are you in your house right now?
I am actually at the office. Okay. So, and this is big, you guys. This is very big. Larry Moss, the guy who directed Run to the Litter, he's an amazing storyteller, amazing trainer of storytellers. This is why when you see Academy Awards being handed out, that for actors or actresses, they're always thanking Larry Moss. Well, it's because he's very smart. And this is one thing he always said to me over the years we worked together, and I never forget it. He said, Bo, you are where you are. Mm-hmm. So your character is where you are. Your character is built on the environment that you're in. Isn't that cool? So, and I think this is where people are thoughtless. Most people on Zoom, not you guys look great. They're thoughtless about the environment that they're in. So our environment that we build here is exactly the environment we want everybody to feel. And we're very thoughtful and conscious about what it is. So when the shot is set up, whether it's at my house, that is set up very thoughtfully. It's not like, oh, let's just shoot it this way. You don't want to be backlit, right? You want, just like your clothes, just like your hair. I know it sounds superficial, you guys, but it's the first thing that people see and judge. So you are where you are. You are what you wear also. Mm-hmm. And so that cannot be a thoughtless act. You have to have your background and your environment exactly what you want your audience to see and feel. And it's gotta match your message, like who you are all the time, right? And so same thing with your hair, same thing with your makeup, same thing with your body and the clothes that you're wearing. I had a buddy who was Robert De Niro's physical trainer. So he trained him to get in shape for, Raging Bull and all his movies. He said the one thing that he really noticed about De Niro, which made him such a great actor, was if he could, was his key to freedom of acting, of finding a character. If he could find the right shoes for the character and the right hat that the character would wear, not Robert De Niro, the character. And if you notice, go back and look at his movies, you guys. If you go back and look at his movies, all his characters wear hats. So if he could find the right hat and he could find the right shoes for that character, he felt like that freed him up to play that part. So I guess why I'm telling you that is I want you to be thoughtful, because you're thoughtful about your content, right? And you're thoughtful about the inspiration that you're giving to your audience. Well, you better be thoughtful of what that audience is now seeing. So if your message is about marriage, right? Well, they better see marriage. They better see what a great marriage looks like in your background, whether that's a beautiful home or your spouse joins you now and again or walks by now and again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's, if say your message is about parenting, well, there better be, that better be part of your background, and that better be a part of everything that you are, the way you dress, the way you do your hair. Thoughtful is the key. And that's what the great performers that, like Craig comes from the rock and roll background, right? So I guarantee you those bands that he was the tour manager for, I guarantee you, if they weren't thoughtful, Craig had to be thoughtful in their place, right? And where Craig might have skipped something, the performer, had to be thoughtful about that performance. Like, what did they wear? How was their hair? How did they hold the guitar? All those different things are thoughtful, which makes them unstoppable. And ultimately, you can't look away from those kind of people.
Yeah. But Bruce Springsteen has a whole thing about how he holds his guitar. He looked in the mirror for years to make sure he looked cool holding his guitar a certain way. And he has people come up on stage and he teaches them how to hold the guitar. Specifically, so my background sucks right now because I'm in my temporary place. My house is November 5th. I hate it that I'm temporary, but it is what it is, But your background, is that specifically though, is it a blackboard? Are you sitting on a stool? Because you look like you're not like laid back, you're forward, stuff like that. Little details like that. Where are you like sitting? Is it a blackboard? Did you actually write that, or is it
That is since I played football back when I played, they used chalkboards, right? Yeah. And I always loved chalkboards, and I missed chalkboards.
Yeah.
So we had a chalkboard artist come in, make a chalkboard wall out of my office, our studio, and you can't see the whole thing. Some shots, we use multiple cameras. Today we're using one, but you can see more of it. And it's just all my things that I say, the things that I believe in, logos that are about the events that I do. And so it matches what we do. We're using one camera today. I'm sitting on a stool today. Most of the time, if I'm giving a speech, I'll stand up. And then Todd, our camera guy and tech guy, will use two cameras, and one will give me more space where I can be physical, and one will be tight. And so he'll go back and forth on those. We have a lighting system. We have backlight back there that keeps me. See how I look separate from the wall?
Yep.
That's because I'm backlit a little bit. It's very strategic, because if I don't, a lot of times if I'm wearing a black shirt or a dark shirt, I'll blend right into the backboard and it looks weird.
And you look like a head.
Yeah, you look like a head, and you don't want that. And so I'm on a stool. I'm lit here specifically for Bo because I have deep set eyes, right? So my forehead is kind of a Cro-Magnon forehead. So we have to get the light underneath that so people can see my eyes, right? And so that's who you are. Yeah. And so you don't want to be all like, if I sit in a chair, I'll be back like this. So now how does this look?
Right.
How long are you going to listen to somebody that's talking to you like this?
Totally different energy. Totally different.
Totally.
Yeah.
It changes everything. And so you want to be on your sits bones, which is your butt. You want to be on your butt, and you want to be sitting up or standing up, but you don't want to be back. Because once you're back, now you get all casual, unless you're teaching people how to be, Fonzie or James Dean, you might have a cigarette, like this.
Hey, listen, This is a great question. I want to get into like the last 10 minutes, just a story thing, because you are all about story. But
Yeah.
one more technical thing, and I noticed that you're doing this very, 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 very well. You don't look at when you're on Zoom, you're looking directly into the camera at all times. You're not looking at the people in the room. Is that correct?
That's right. I'll glance down just to see who's asking the question,
Right.
or look at your background or something catches my eye.
Yep.
But you've got to really train yourself, because all of us are really in-person people. We're of age
I want to
where,
look at them, right?
yeah, we made our bones, all of us. We got to this point because we're great in person. We connect human beings and their energy. Well, you can do that, but you got to do it like I'm doing it now. I'm doing it quickly, and then I'm right up here. And now I'm talking to my specific person that I want to connect to.
Yeah, it is an art, you know. It's not easy to do, because my eye goes down a lot to look at the people a lot.
It's because of our age, you know. It's just that's what we've done our whole lives. Now, kids, they don't have any problem because they've never connected to another human being. So
That's so true. They're so used to looking into phones. So are you
Right.
using a camera specifically instead of like a phone? You're using a camera?
a camera, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about story. You're the guy, you know, that teaches about story. How does, and this is a loaded question and a very long question. I'm moving my dog away. How does one, without going to your course, because we'll all go to your course later, but right now, how does one find, this is a loaded question, I know it's how does one find their best story to get people to notice them, let's just say? How do you find your best story?
Yeah, here's what I always tell people looking for that story. I would look first in between the ages of 9 and 12. That's a great age group, a great section of time in your life where everything, if you have kids that age, you notice this is happening in the house right now. Everything is dramatic and everything is emotional. Like if somebody breaks up with you in between the ages of 9 and 12, like a romantic, that is like the biggest catastrophe there could ever be. If you get cut from the Little League team, that is the biggest emotional disaster that could ever happen. It's dramatic. So look in that area first. If your mom told you that you couldn't be in the choir because you're a lousy singer, that carries so much weight today in who you are, if it happened during those ages. So I'm not saying that every defining moment comes in those ages, but it's a good place to start looking. Because like I got cut from Little League during that time and it defined my whole life going forward. So Bo's still that little boy, even though I'm 59, I'm still that little boy who feels left out and wasn't good enough to be on the team with my brother. And so my whole life, I've been trying to join teams and stick with teams. And I fought so hard that I eventually became a professional athlete of all things, right?
Yeah.
So the same is true for all of you. That's called a defining moment story. So if you look, like a lot of people in the finance world, between the ages of 9 and 12, they were faced with a bankruptcy in their family or no money and no food on the table. And that's why they became so wealthy and are interested in the finance world. I'm sure a lot of the bands that Craig has worked with were told they sucked in between the ages of 9 and 12, which made them stars later because they fought emotionally so hard. So if you start there, you'll find something in there that really has a lot of weight and it really tells the world who you are. Now, if you have the ability now to share that story on camera, just like we're doing today, if you have the ability to do that, well, that connects you immediately to your audience, because everybody who's going to ever watch you has run the same miles. They have been hurt. They have been rejected. Something took place in their life that was emotional. And as soon as you have the ability to share that, like, hey, you guys, when I was 11, I wanted to be on the Little League team because my brother was their best player. And if I'm on that Little League team, I'm going to be with my brother. And we're going to be together every day at practice and every game. And then the coach called and said, you're not good enough to be on this team. We're sending you home. So just that, you guys, that's 3 sentences. Just that. If you didn't know me ever before and I opened with that, you guys, we have connection from that story, because even if you never played Little League, you know what I'm talking about, because you have felt the same way, which is rejected, which is left out. And now we have the most valuable thing that is currently on our planet, trust. We have trust. So our planet is at its lowest level of trust that it's ever been, right? So before Corona, Gallup does a poll every year since 1974, and trust is at its lowest level that it's ever been before Corona broke out. Then now we have this pandemic. Do you think trust has been built, or is it going south during the last 6 months? Well, it's going south for sure. So who are the most valuable people on the planet now? The ones who can restore trust. The quickest way to restore trust that's been eroded over time is by sharing who you are. And if you can share that defining moment, that Little League moment, that when you got dumped at the prom moment, then you're the one who becomes the most valuable, because now you garner trust, and now you can take your audience wherever you want. That's why I would start right there.
That's awesome. That's so great. And just, you basically just summed up your 1.5 hour speech in literally that 4 minutes, because that's the whole thing that you talk about, is what is that defining moment in building trust. I'm going to just add, there's one more question here that it's really interesting, and you kind of touched on it before, but it's a really interesting thing. But before I ask it, I just want to point out Jade Molina is on our mastermind, and he works with Bo EASON, and he has a thing called Men of Growth. And Bo, I just saw his story that he shares on the video of opening of Men of Growth, and I know he worked with you on that story because he's told me. And wow, that is what an opening that was to his Men of Growth video series, is a story about his defining moment. And right, I mean, Jade was powerful in that.
Yep. No, he's, obviously Jade is a great guy and a great student, but for him to build trust with other men, which is his audience, right? He has got to lay down his sword and say, here's who I am. This is how I was messing up my life. This is what I almost destroyed myself. And if you can express that to other people, now they put down their sword and they go, oh, I trust this dude because he just laid down a defining moment, the same one that I had. So I trust him, and now we can go, whatever content Jade builds, that doesn't matter. What matters is he's got the trust so that his audience will now follow him.
Yeah. Your mess is your message, right?
Yeah.
The mess is the message. All right. Before I let you go, there's one question on here that's kind of funny. We've all seen it. We've all seen you do the Jerry Rice story. You can't do that virtually. Or
we have figured out a way.
That's awesome.
So whenever that was a big, so Todd, who does all the cinematography that we do, does all our tech stuff. He did Jade's stuff, the video that you saw. He looked at the performance and he goes, we're going to make that work because we're not going to lose that story. We're going to make it work. So we put multiple cameras in.
Oh, wow.
So he can cut back and forth, and he knows the story so well by now. He's like a step ahead of me. He's cutting to my body, to the close-up, to the body, to the close-up, so that we can still use that that story.
That's awesome.
So there's a way to figure out everything.
Yeah, there is. You just got to be thoughtful. You know,
Yep.
you gotta really do that. Bo, thank you so much. I know you got to run to your mastermind. You have probably a full day of stuff going on. And I really miss you, buddy. And thank you for doing this. We all appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Craig. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, Dawn.
Oh,
Great to see you.
Thank you.
you're the best. That was awesome.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So I'm going to stay on for a couple of more minutes while Bo gets ready for his mastermind. Was that good? Was that good? Did that work? Was that good? Did that work?
That was awesome.
Yeah, fantastic.
So it's stuff like that. So this is what I'm doing now
Great.
in my masterminds. You know what? It's over the years that you realize like what a blessing that you guys are. And I realized this yesterday. Well, I've realized it for years, but yesterday I'm at our little meeting with 8 people in Dallas or North Dallas, Frisco. And you realize like how blessed you are to have this amazing group of people. So I do these seminars, I do these live seminars all the time, and I always get all the great speakers at these seminars, and people pay money to come, but the virtual, they're not paying money to come to the actual, just the seminar itself without getting the video and stuff like that. So, but I realized, you know, I give away all these great speakers, basically for free, but I'd rather do this, what I'm doing now. So Bo EASON just came on for 45 minutes only because he had to do this and I wanted him, I booked him today and he forgot he had this thing. But it worked out great. This is what I want, right? 45 minutes of great information by great people. So I've decided instead of just giving all the people that don't sign up for my mastermind, these great speakers, I'm bringing them in because you don't want to wear them out. I don't want to have them speak there and here. You know, they're busy people. So I'm saving them for my mastermind people. So these master classes, I'll be doing training as well, but I'm going to bring in situations like this every week. Where someone, because I know everybody, I know every single speaker, and why not let them see your faces and see who you are? And they might say, oh, look, there's Linda. I haven't seen Linda in so long. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And then they get to realize, oh, these are people that are active, they're doing something, you know, they're participating in life, and that's why I think this is a good thing moving forward. So I'm not going to have as many speakers at my events anymore. I'll still have good people, but I'm going to save them for the mastermind master classes because I'd rather have them talk to you and go into like this personal thing with the mastermind. So anyway, we'll be doing these, and James Malinchak is next week. And if you've never seen James, he was the one that I went to first, and that's how I became a speaker. So I'm sure that's going to be amazing. And then in 2 weeks is Scott McCain, one of the highest paid keynote speakers out there that never toured with like a Guns N' Roses or wasn't a professional athlete. He was just a regular guy that happens to have a great message and just an unbelievable voice. If any of you know who Don LaFontaine is, he passed away in 2008. He was a very dear friend of mine. He was the guy that did all the movie trailers, like In a World 2000, you know, that guy.
Very good.
So he passed away in 2008. Scott McCain has that same voice. You will listen to Scott the first time you see him and you're going to go, oh my, of course he's a speaker, you know, that type of guy. So we're bringing in those, Don King of voiceover. We're bringing in those type of people for the mastermind. So for all of you that renewed, which was pretty much everyone, I think like only 3 didn't so far out of everybody. So that's cool. And a lot of people came back, which is really cool. And the online thing I think is working really, really well. And Bo is the most, you know, I'm pretty energetic on stage, but Bo is very energetic on stage. And he has found a way to, you know, look through the camera, Glenn Morshower talks about it all the time, beyond the camera. You're talking beyond the camera. You're not talking at the camera. You're talking beyond the camera. So little things like that, I think is a great tool that we're all learning this year because we have to, but it'll be great for years to come because Bo's right. You know, it's never going to be the same again. It's never going to be what we had. but it'll be way better than it is now. That's for sure. Way better. And maybe in 3 or 4 years, it'll be the way it was, but it'll be different because we'll all be better at camera stuff, you know? So I love what he did with his office. You know, he goes to an office. He has a little studio at home and he goes to an office. And that, yeah, I forgot to ask Gail to make it big. I'll get a picture of it though, Gail. I know you said in the comments what's on the whole wall. I'll ask him for a picture of it and I'll put it up in the Facebook group. But what a great background. I mean, talk about promoting yourself. All his stuff, the Houston Oiler thing was that he played for the Houston Oilers was back there. Oilers was back there. He had his The Runt of the Litter is the name of his Broadway show. That it was, and then he had all the things that he talks about in his speeches. What a great way to just NLP the audience, reminding them who he is, you know, and it's just right there, right in front of everyone's face all the time. So these are little tips
I can do that for y'all.
Yeah. What? What was that, Allie?
I said I could do that for y'all. I can make.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Allie's an artist. That's right. So just fly her in and make. But that chalkboard idea, how brilliant is that?
Yeah.
The guy grew up as a professional athlete back in the 60s, 70s, and they wrote on the chalkboard all the time. So he incorporated that into his brand. Thoughtful. You know, how do we stay in the brand? How do we stay thoughtful for everything? Guns N' Roses was very, very specific and thoughtful in their concerts. Coming on late.
Craig, if you go to Bo Eason's website and go under Bo's blog, it shows him in front of the board. It's not the whole board, but you get a better view of it.
So is it boeason.com?
boeason.com.
And then
/blog. /blog.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's not the whole wall, but it shows his cameras. It shows everything.
That's awesome. Very, very awesome. All right. Anyone want to say anything or any questions before we end this one? I got to get ready for this little seminar that I'm doing for 864 people on Thursday. Anyway, in my very temporary, I gotta fix this shit up before Thursday because I gotta put something behind me after watching Bo. I gotta do something different.
That's what I would say. The artwork behind you doesn't work, Craig.
No, it's not. It's not my house. It's like two.
I know, but just take them off the walls unless.
I will. I'm putting like carpeting here to deaden the sound a little bit more. I will put something interesting behind me. I'll put a picture of Aldana Luis Fernandez behind me. There you go.
Do you have any of your big banners there?
That'll work.
No, and Tony was just out here and she asked me, do you need any banners? And I said no, thinking
Trust the tea.
And then I was thinking, oh yes, I mean tomorrow, PK, you're right. Oh my God, my seminar is tomorrow. Oh my God. Okay, yes, tomorrow.
You just need to go find a picture somewhere in the house that's better than, looks like you're in a church.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like a churchy type thing. But yeah, I'll do something behind me.
You need the background of Eddie Van Halen's guitar there.
Oh, I know.
Just saying.
I know.
That was very sad.
Craig.
Yes.
Craig, Janie here.
Hey, Janie.
When you think about that background, whatever you can do to take that rail from cutting behind you.
Yes.
Heads up your neck.
Off. Yeah. Yes. Whatever you can do to take that away, either you get higher or you cover it.
Yeah, because it's like cutting you right
It
at the neck.
cuts you off. Yeah.
Cutting me
And that's part of the energy in the picture.
Hey,
Thank you.
Craig, do you have any of the curtains that you used in your live?
No,
on your-
everything is in storage in Los Angeles.
Craig,
Oh,
just get
Hey, Craig.
a shower curtain and just even tape it up so it drops behind you. Just
Yeah, I'm probably, yes, thank you. I'm probably going to get some sort of curtain situation.
a color
and
that you
staple
look
it.
good in.
Hey, Craig.
A color you look good in, Craig. A color when you wear you look great in.
Like black?
So you can wear black. The curtain should be red or some
Right,
other
yeah.
bright
I'll
color.
probably do red. Some guy was trying to talk.
Hey, Craig.
Janie?
Craig, it's Tim.
Tim.
I've got my frame for my step and repeat. I can bring that over there and you can put it behind you with curtains.
There you go.
Oh, you have the actual frame that
I have the
can put?
frame. Yeah, I've got the frame. I've got my red carpet and stuff. I mean, that might help. I'll bring that down. I'll bring it up to you today.
Can you bring it up to me? And then the carpet will be good for the room. You know,
Right.
even if it's a little carpet, at least.
What's that red? Yeah, it's the red carpet that goes in front of it. I've got it, and I just bring it up to you.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And
All right,
then
can you
just
be
go-
here in 10 minutes? I'm kidding.
And then just go, Craig,
No, bring it up tomorrow because I'm out today.
Yeah, I'll come up tomorrow with it. I got
You
stuff
can.
to do today.
and then
Janie,
Craig, just go to some Target and buy the curtains on the rods and just hang them.
And then hang him on the thing. Yeah, that's
it'll
awesome.
be easy.
Janie, tell Craig about your board background. Janie, the encourager, tell Craig about your board background. Because those,
This one here, this one, the fence,
yeah.
the fence is just a sheet from Amazon, but you can put up any background sheet plain. But what Tim's got is what you need. That's,
Yeah.
that's
So what
good.
so Tim has, what is that? Oh, there's
Yeah,
a picture
there you
of, so there's a picture of the city
The
behind.
city, yeah.
Oh, actually that kind of looks like my background from Los Angeles,
It's
which,
Dallas.
get this.
No, it's Dallas. I'll bring it down too. Maybe you can use it.
Yeah, maybe bring that, because if it's Dallas, that's awesome, and I'll tell you why. Because everyone knows from my Rock Your Life set, I had Los Angeles behind me, and that would be Dallas. So Tim, if you could bring that tomorrow with your frame, I will give you a big wet kiss right on the mouth.
Oh God.
Right on the mouth, baby. I might even add a little tongue in there.
Ooh,
Oh,
ooh.
Craig,
Oh, is that too much? Is that too much?
Yeah, way too much. Way too
you
much.
know you and Tim. If
Let's say
From Natasha,
TMI.
right? I get the tongue from Natasha. I'm just saying.
Natasha's tongue with my, yeah.
Oh, come on, guys.
Okay. Anyway, Natasha is gonna whack you over the head.
She left.
Anyway,
She's
yeah,
still
that's
gonna whack me over the head when she hears that.
Craig, when is the book coming out? The book that the.
So we just talked about that yesterday, actually at our meeting too. It's going to be when the next live event is. Like I wrestled with releasing it like now, but there's no, I want a big release because this is a big book. I want a big release party. So I'm releasing it at the next live event, which should be March 2021 in North Dallas. And then I'm doing October or September 2021 in Los Angeles. So one a year, I'll do Los Angeles, one Dallas, and then one, I think I'm gonna add a third in Florida. So that's my preliminary thinking as the world opens up. But I know Dallas will be open up by March, or at least I feel they have a way better chance than Los Angeles. And then I'll wait to do Los Angeles, the second one. But I'm going to be in Los Angeles a lot. So I'm going to try to put together small little, still those small meetings like we had yesterday here at my new golf club, small meetings like that. I think I'm even going at the end of the month again. So if I do go at the end of the month, I'm going to try to do a small mastermind meeting in a smaller space for anyone that can come. But I'll keep you abreast of that situation.
Craig, what happened to Nashville?
Nashville is, well, so I was thinking I would do Rock Your Life celebration in January to start the whole new year, but I'm not confident that January is going to be ready yet either. So that might be summer 2021. All these things, look, I mean, I would love to, every year I schedule the whole year. And I did that last year, and everything I've done is, a disaster. So I need to wait to see, because scheduling things is a pain for everybody. So I need to wait to see if we're opened. And I think the election will be part A of whatever happens, and then we'll go from there. So November 4th, I think we might know a lot more. What, Allie?
I gotta go. Love you. Thank you so much, Craig.
Bye, Allie.
Love you all. Thanks.
Love you.
Good to see you all.
Bye, everybody. I gotta go.
Yeah, I'm actually going to cut this because it's 12 o'clock, or, well, 12 here. So I will see all of you. If you haven't registered on Zoom yet, you still got to register on Zoom. Even if you registered in Kartra in the thing, you got to register and get the Zoom link for tomorrow night. We start tomorrow night, 5 o'clock Pacific time, tomorrow night. And then it's all day Thursday, all day Friday, all day is Thursday night tomorrow, 5 o'clock Pacific time, then all day Friday, all day Saturday. Love you all.
Bye.
Bye, Craig.
Keep breathing